everyone. It's me, Brianna, with Izzy for Youth Largefowl Judging. So excited to have you. Before we get started, just some general updates. For Youth Largefowl, we had 231 birds total. We had 71 exhibitors and over $200 in awards that we'll be giving out. Overall, we had a lot of people asking, so we had 1,768 birds, over 280 exhibitors, and over $1,000 in sponsored awards. So keep an eye out for upcoming judging. So this Wednesday, we will have Phil Bartz judge open largefowl. So the open counterpart to that, he's an ABA and APA sanctioned judge, extremely knowledgeable. And I'm super excited to watch him and see what he'll do. And July 25th is our last one with Dave Anderson and Open Bantam. And Dave Anderson is an absolute monster of a breeder and judge. He was president of the APA, and he ran the standards committee and grandmaster exhibitor, has experience in both open and bantam. So it'll be really cool to see. We've got some amazing birds in both shows. As far as this show goes, our order is going to be American, then Asiatic, Continental, English, Mediterranean, all other standard breeds, and then champions. And at the very end, we will go through and we will announce all of the exhibitors and the awards. The order by breeds is also listed up there. I'll throw that in a comment on both platforms, whether you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube, so that you'll be able to follow along with that. We are judging this by the American Standard of Perfection, so the APA standard. The general rule of thumb is going to be that the top 5 in each slide will be placed. You don't have to, Izzy knows, we've talked about it. We don't have to place the top 5, so only birds that fit the type and fit the standard will be able to place. And then the top few from each slide will move on to the next category. Any other big things? Any unrecognized variety or breed can't place higher than any recognized variety or breed. So, for example, like a blue partridge Brahma can't place over a white Brahma just because it's not recognized. But they'll still get feedback and they'll still get overall thoughts and opinions. So, yeah, with that, Izzy, do you want to introduce yourself and we can get started?
Sure. So I'm Izzy Dietzler. I've been breeding for maybe 5 years now. I started breeding when we were finally able to move to the country from the city, and I have fallen in love with poultry. I focus on Wyandottes, Americanas, and Morans. My Wyandottes hold my heart all the way, but I do breed blue-laced red Wyandottes, which are not accepted varieties, so they'll just be fun backyard birds for me. I live in Wisconsin. I am an upcoming senior in high school, and I'm excited to see how my poultry stuff goes in the future.
Yeah, awesome. We're super excited to have you. And I've known Izzy for a couple of years now. We're both in Wisconsin, so we've talked in person, we've talked online, and yeah, I'm super excited for it. I do want to just have a couple other notes. You can comment on here at any point. So if you throw a comment on Facebook or YouTube, Izzy can see it and she'll be able to answer it. So if you have any questions about judging, if you're not sure about something, if you want more clarification on anything she's saying, go ahead, throw it in a comment, and she'll be able to answer that hopefully real time. We will probably be taking 1 or 2 breaks in here depending on how long it goes. I do ask if you throw things in the comments. We worked pretty hard to keep a separation between the judges and the exhibitors so that the judges, we wanted to eliminate all of the bias. So our goal was the judges don't know who entered the birds, and therefore they can't hold that against or for anyone. So if you are commenting in there, please don't reference whose bird is whose. So don't say like, oh, my bird took first. Well, just wait. We'll wait until the very end, and we'll see. We'll go over all of the exhibitors that placed at the end and give recognition to them. We also ask that you keep it friendly, keep it nice. A lot of these people that are entering are youth and are new, so they may have never showed before. And we recognize that with a youth show. So we're trying to keep it upbeat, keep it pretty friendly in the comments. So yeah. And I also want to throw out a huge thank you to all of our sponsors. There's a lot more than are listed here. These are just a few of them. Almost all of these are small businesses that are helping out. So they're not big companies, they're not big corporations. Some of them are just individuals, families, businesses that love the show, and it goes directly to the awards. So if you see any of them on Facebook in person, if you know any of them, give them a huge thanks, a huge shout out. We would not be able to run this show and keep it free without them. So yeah. And with that, we'll start with American.
All right, so our first birds are Rhode Island Reds. A couple of these birds are kind of hard to see from the slide here, but I did take a look at some of them on my phone beforehand so I could see pictures better. So I'm just going to say kind of a little bit about each bird. So this first bird with the grass, so a lot of these birds here I can tell are more production bred, which is okay. But this bird has a very upright tail, and it kind of comes to pinch at the top, which is not something you want with this breed. You want more of an open tail. And it has very pale yellow legs, but once they start producing, that tends to happen. This next bird also has a high tail that also comes to a pinch at the top. And then the third bird, this one's very young, so I can't say too much about it. As of now, it seems to have decent coloring. In Rhode Island Reds, we're mainly looking for a dark mahogany color instead of this red. And it's something kind of hard to find in hatchery production Rhode Island Reds. Moving on to this fourth bird behind the fencing. So this is one I made sure I went and looked at on my phone because I couldn't see it well from the slide. This bird does have nice coloring, and it does also really have nice type. So I think this one will be my favorite in the class. But let me finish with the other birds. The next bird is also very young, so I can't say much about type. Fifth bird, or sixth bird, also high tail, pinching at the end, pale yellow legs. And then the last bird, this one is lacking a lot of breast, and it also has poor tail angle. So from these, I'm going to drag this one to first. I'm going to put this one second just because, oh, the picture up. Oh. Can you see the pictures? I can't see the pictures.
We can see the pictures here from our end. If there's any you want me to move in particular, you can go ahead and let me know.
Sorry, the pictures just all disappeared on my screen.
Oh, that's weird. Say, otherwise, if you open up the StreamYard and you can tell me what bird you want to place where, and I can do it from my end too.
All right, so the one behind the fencing is going to be my first.
Okay.
The one on like the red towel, I'm going to put that one as my second.
Okay.
The bird in the grass, that one's going to be third. And then the one with like greenish background, that one's going to be fourth. And then my fifth's going to be the one that's the other non-young one.
Okay.
So the reason why I didn't place these young ones is it's just really hard to tell what they're going to grow up to look like at this age. All right, so we can move on. Okay, I can see these ones, that's good. I might just have to have you move them. I don't know, when I tried, they just all disappeared.
Are you able to move them now?
Nope, it disappeared again. The first one I tried to move.
Okay. It showed that it moved on my end and on the screen. If you want to refresh it in the background and then just go off of the board here, you can probably let me know how you want to place them and I can keep moving them for you.
All right. Let me just refresh here so I can see that one again. Okay, there we go. All right. Is there another picture? Oh, that one's just really small. Okay. I can see. Okay, so this class is very large. We have a lot of barred and then a couple of other colors in here. So this first bird, this one is also looks to be production bred. I can tell based on the upright tail and the paler yellow legs. And then the second bird, very young. It does have nice coloring though, very nice coloring on this bird. But since it's so young, I can't really say anything about the type. This third bird, love this photo. But this bird has decent body type, but the coloring could be a little better. I'm looking for a little bit better of barring. This one's kind of, I don't know what the term to use, but it's a little, I guess, not overly, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on words today. I'm sorry. But it's just not crisp. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. This fourth bird has very upright tail, poor coloring, and it also seems to be pinched a little up on the top. Fifth bird, nice coloring, very young, not filled in yet, doesn't really have a tail. And then this one in like the pink. This guy has really nice type. This is what I'm looking for in the barred rock. It has nice coloring, nice yellow legs, and I would really like this one. Next bird, upright tail, poor coloring again. I'm looking for a bit more of a whiter coloring. It's supposed to be a little bit more even black to white. But the males do have 2 copies of the barring gene, so they do look whiter overall, but you don't want the females too dark. Next bird that has like the pink background. This one also has pretty nice type to him. I wish the tail was a little more filled out, but that's okay. He has decent coloring as well. Then we're gonna move over to, I'll judge the other colors after I go through all the barred. So this next young bird in the second row, nice coloring, but once again, can't say much about his type. And I focus a lot on type because I've been told by many breeders, you always build the barn before you paint it. So I look at type before anything else. So I will judge based on type first, and then if I like the type of many birds, then I will pick based on coloring. Next bird is also very young, but nice coloring. Then this one kind of standing on the plywood. This one it has a incomplete tail to him. It might just be that he's out of condition, but I'm looking for a fuller tail that kind of is straighter back. I'm looking for more of the curve in the tail. Next one standing on white. This one is also looks more of a production bred. It has a high tail. The one standing on the black is very young. This is probably one of the younger birds in the class. So I can't say much about type. Next bird also very young, but nice coloring. Next bird, this one has a high tail, and I'm not a fan of this one's coloring either. It's not very crisp barring. And then if we go straight down from that one, in the grass, this one also has a high tail to him. Moving over past the other varieties, this one also seems to have a high tail, but I can't really tell based on the way this bird is standing. It's looking down. And then next one over, this little cockerel, young, not totally filled in yet. I think this bird would actually grow out pretty nice. Nice coloring, but once again, can't really say much about type because this bird is not grown out yet. Moving over, another bird with a high tail, just lacks depth kind of in the tail. Once again, next bird over, high tail, looks to be pinched up at the top. I'm looking for a more full tail. A lot of these, it almost goes straight up in the back instead of being like fluffier. And then the one standing on the post, also another young cockerel, but seems to have nice coloring. Bree, am I doing a best of variety for Bard?
Nope. So our general rule of thumb for best of variety was you needed to have at least 2 varieties that had more than 5 entries each.
Okay.
So this one, there was enough for best Bard, but there wasn't enough for best any other variety.
All right. Then I will go to this little partridge in the second row, first one. This one, it has a very upright tail. It just doesn't look conditioned very well, but it has decent coloring. And then our next one, you can see the coloring very well on this one. And this one has some decent penciling, some not. It's something that's very hard to work with when breeding penciled breeds. But this one does have a bit better of a tail angle, but it does appear to lack in the tail still. And it also does not have a yellow beak, which with Plymouth Rocks, we are looking for yellow beak and yellow legs. And then moving on to the 2 cockerels in the bottom that are silver penciled. Both of these are very young. Can't tell much about body type because they are not grown out yet. Yeah, that's, I guess, all I can say about those guys. They're just pretty young. Okay, so let me see what ones. All right, so I think I'm gonna do for first the one that has like the pink background, and it's, yeah, the one not on the end. I think that one's gonna be my first. And then my second will be the other one. My third is going to be the one that the awesome picture, the one that's staring right at you. Yep. I like that one's tail angle a bit better than the others. The first and second, I like them most because they have the best type, in my opinion, and they have decent coloring as well. The third I chose because he also has decent type, wish his tail was a little lower. And he doesn't have horrible barring, but that could be better. My fourth is going to be the young cockerel on the bottom. Fourth in, not that one, sorry. So this one's young, but I can tell that he'll probably have decent type because I like where his tail angle is going as of now, and he has nice coloring. And then my fifth is going to be the little pullet that's by the chain link fence. It's in the second row, third in. This one has nice coloring for a pullet. And it's also, as of now, has a nice fuller tail to him. Doesn't look pinched at all. Wish the legs were a little bit more yellow, but it could just be how the lighting was. So this is going to be my Plymouth Rock class.
And for those wondering, I cropped the fifth photo in just a little bit so you could see the bird better. Izzy is able to go through and actually pull up the original photo with the original size, so she can see it just a little bit better than you guys can as well.
Yep, I am looking at individual photos as of now, so I can see each one a bit better. All right. I think we're good with those guys. And then is it Wyandottes we're moving on to?
Yep, we're on silver laced Wyandottes.
All right. So laced birds are definitely harder to breed because you want good lacing. And I'm just going to point out what incomplete lacing is here quick. So incomplete lacing is where the lacing does not finish on the feathers, or it's like extremely thin where you can hardly see the lacing, which is something commonly seen in some of these laced breeds. So I'm going to start with this first bird. This hen, she has poor lacing, and she also has mossy coloring, which is like black speckles in her wings. Her wings don't seem tight. They're kind of falling down on her body a bit. This bird just doesn't look totally conditioned. Could be a little better if conditioned. Moving on to the second one, very high tail. I don't like to see fluff kind of in between the back and the tail. Third one, this cockerel, looks young, but has very nice yellow legs, and as of now appears to have decent lacing. I can't say much about this bird as of yet because Wyandottes do grow out extremely slow, and it will take sometimes longer than a year to see where their tail sets at. Fourth bird, this one has this incomplete lacing. Not every feather is laced all the way, and the wings do seem they're falling down. They're not held tight. And then the tail is not very full on that bird as well. And then the last one on the first row, I really like this one. This one has pretty nice lacing. The lacing comes down into the leg area, which is a big thing I like to see. This bird has pretty decent type. It slants up a little bit and then rounds out. And when you're thinking about Wyandottes, you're thinking about circles, usually how the bird's whole body structure looks. You want the breast to be round, and then you want the tail to kind of round out as well. And then we're going to move on to the first one in the second row. This one's hard to tell body structure because it looks to be leaning down. It looks like it has a pinched tail a little bit on the end, but it does have decent lacing. I would like to overall see the lacing come a bit down into the leg fluff a bit more. Next bird, another bird with great type and pretty decent lacing as well. And the next one, also pretty decent type. Looks to be a little twisted, but that's probably just the way this photo is taken. And this one also has great lacing. Next bird, high tail, looks to be a little pinched at the top. This one, right at the top of the wings, you can see a lot of white, which is not something you want to see. You want to see lacing even all the way down. And it does have a bit poor lacing in the breast area as well. And then this last bird, decent lacing, hard to tell type again because it is sitting down, but it does have pretty decent lacing. All right, my first I'm going to give to, I think it's going to be the last one in the first row. I like this bird's lacing. I think it has the best lacing out of all of them. And it does have nice type. It rounds out at the end of the tail. It doesn't stick straight up or anything. And it's not pinched. If you were to look at that bird from the back, you could probably see that the back of the tail is a bit more open. It doesn't come in all the way. And the bird also has nice yellow legs. My second is going to be the second bird in the second row. This one also has great type. I wish the lacing came a bit more into the leg feathers. That's the only reason why this one isn't first. And then my third is going to be the second in the second row now. This one also has great type. It does have a little bit of odd lacing in some parts, but it is overall a great bird. My fourth is going to be the young cockerel. This one's just overall, compared to the others, it's more fuller in the body. It looks to have a bit fuller of a breast, and its tail is not overly pinched. It has nice yellow legs as well and a nice head to them. The comb follows the head. And then my fifth is going to be the pullet that is tucked on the plywood. This one has decent lacing. I can't tell totally its body type or anything, but it overall doesn't seem super skinny or anything like that, and it has nice yellow legs as well. So that's going to be how I place this class.
Out of how much do you want on, like, what? I can take the top 2, top 3, top 4 to the best Wyandotte.
Take the top 3.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, am I good to move on to the next?
Yep.
Do you want me to wait a second, Bree, to move on?
Nope, you should be good to move on to best variety, or best any other variety.
Okay. All right, so moving on to other Wyandottes. So this first one is a Colombian, and it's hard to tell his type from this photo because he's standing a little towards the camera, but he appears to have decent type. He has a fuller tail to him, and he has the big body that I like to see in Wyandottes. I wish he did have a little bit more of a breast coming down. It looks like his feathers are tucked up a bit. That could just be how he's standing. But he has great yellow legs. And I can't really say much about his wings because I can't see them very well. Moving on to the next, this is a golden laced. She is a little skinny in the body. I would like to see more of a larger breast area and have more of the roundness in the tail. Her tail kind of goes up. She also has shafting in the lacing, which is the little light colored line you will see inside every lace, which is not something that is desired in these laced breeds. Her comb is also a little rough. It should be smooth and follow the back of the head and have a little point at the end. Moving on to this black rooster. He is great type. His wings don't seem totally together. I wish they were held a bit tighter. And his legs aren't very yellow. But overall, this bird has pretty nice type for a male. Moving on to the Colombian hen. This bird is just not conditioned. It has a cute little face to it. Pretty nice head and neck, but the tail angle, it might just be missing a bunch of feathers, or this could be how it is. But it's not complete. Wish it was fuller. Next one, this is a young golden laced. Can't say too much because it is pretty young pullet. It's pretty skinny overall. Wish it had a little more breast, and going into the tail, wish it had a little more volume in the tail. Moving on to the first one in the second row, this is a silver penciled hen. She actually has pretty decent type. Wish her penciling was a little more crisp, but overall her tail is pretty full, and she has nice wing angle. Moving on to the next golden lace, this one also has shafting, high tail, mossiness in the tail. And wish it was more full in the breast. And then these last two are blue lace red Wyandottes. So these two are not a recognized variety yet. Hopefully, eventually they will be. But these two both have high tails. They kind of pinch at the top. And what you're looking for in a blue lace red is you want mahogany red. You don't want this brassy color, especially in the neck. You see the little golden feathers. That's not your ideal coloring in a blue laced red. You want mahogany, which is more like that mahogany that you get in the Rhode Island reds. And you want that as the center of the feather without shafting. So these birds also have shafting. Okay, so I'm going to place these guys. I think I'm going to place this black rooster first. And then I'm going to do the I think I'm going to do the silver penciled and then the Colombian rooster. And then I'm gonna do the Colombian pullet. And I think I'm gonna leave it there. I chose the black rooster because he had great type and he was overall fuller in the body. I chose this pullet as second because she has pretty decent type. She is fuller in the breast area, which is what I'm looking for, and she is nice and fluffy around the legs. Third, I placed this rooster because I couldn't see a good angle of him, but he appears to be have a fuller tail, a better tail angle, and bright yellow legs. And then fourth, I put this Colombian Wyandotte pullet. She is a bit more fuller in the chest than these other guys, and she does have decent coloring in the neck area. I bet she could be better if she was conditioned a bit more.
You're good to move on to the next one. A quick note, again, we said it earlier, but for anyone that just joined in, Izzy's only placing the top 4 in this class because one of the rules in a show is only birds that fit the standard can place. So any bird that isn't typed well enough or has obvious defects, disqualifications, or defaults can't place. So the bottom ones are just a little bit too much of a hatchery bird. They're not necessarily bred for show. It doesn't mean they're a bad bird or a bad production bird. It just means that they don't fit the show standard put forward.
Yep, thank you. All right. So for best of breed, I think I'm going to place that first 10 first row first. See if it'll get rid of the photo. Oh, it let me move the photo. Wow. I really like this bird's type. It's fuller and it has nice coloring, really pretty coloring, and the bright yellow legs that I'm looking for. It has a nice head. It's not too flat on top. It's nice and rounded up. And it overall has the nice round body type to it. I'm going to then place this next silver lace pullet. So she also has really nice lacing again, nice yellow legs, also nice head and comb. Third, I'm going to place this last pullet, silver lace pullet. Also really nice type, nice lacing. Fourth, I'm going to put this black rooster. The only reason I didn't place this black rooster higher is because he does have loose wings and his legs aren't very yellow, which just comes with age. But I would like his wings held up higher and closer to his body. And then fifth, I'm going to place this silver pencil pullet.
Sounds good. We're good to move on to any other American. And again, if you have any questions about the judging, about why these birds are placed there, or confused about anything, go ahead and comment on there and let us know.
All right. So I'm going to start with these 4 birds that are down in the right-hand corner. So these birds are all appear to be mixed breeds. This first one appears to be an Easter egger, which is, they're great for laying you colorful eggs, but they are not an accepted breed. And then these other 2 with the copper coloring, These two, I believe they were put on as red stars. These are a production breed from hatcheries. They are a sex link, so you can tell the roosters from hens at hatch, and they are mainly just for laying eggs. So these are a mixed breed that are not accepted by the APA. And then this other bird, I believe, was just put in the wrong class. I think it might be later on in the slides. All right, so moving on to the main birds in this class, I'm going to start with, let's see where I want to start. Let's start with this first one. So this first one has pretty nice type. I like the full body of this one. Oh my gosh, it's zooming in. She overall has great structure, and I wish her tail didn't have as much of a hump in it, coming to a little bit of a pinch at the top. Wish it was a tiny bit more fuller, but nice yellow legs, nice fluff, decent breast. And then this second New Hampshire, she is more of a production type. She has the longer tail, kind of pinching at the top, pale yellow legs, lacking breast area, looking for a little bit more round into the breast. And then moving on to this white one, I suck at pronouncing this breed, so I'm not even going to try it. This bird is young, so it's hard to determine type as well. But the tail angle is a little high, and it's not as full as I would like. Moving on to this Dominique.
For someone asking, it's Chancellatiers, I want to say. I also could be mispronouncing it on there. Spelled very interestingly.
Yeah,
that's the breed.
I can never pronounce it correct. And then this one's a Dominique. This next barred one, they're very similar looking to barred Plymouth Rocks, but they do have a rose comb instead of a single comb. I wish the barring was a little bit more crisp.
That one's a Dominique.
Yep.
Okay.
And the top tail feathers kind of curve over, which is not ideal. And the tail, you can see it kind of comes up straight, and then it has that little curve, which is not the ideal tail angle you would be looking for. This next one is a red star. It's listed as. This is one of those hatchery hybrids. And then I believe this one's sitting on this little step stool thing is a Buckeye. They have a pea comb to them, but I would overall be looking for a bit darker of a bird here. Does have nice yellow legs, and this bird is young, so it's hard to tell, and it's sitting down, so I can't see the tail angle very well. Next, we have a Delaware. This one's, it could just be in poor condition, but it's lacking pattern in its neck, and it seems more of a yellowy white than a bright white. And then the tail kind of goes up and looks to pinch kind of towards the top. This Jersey Giant also could be better in better condition. Looking for more of a rounder breast here. Missing a bit of back feathers, and it has a high tail and also a very straight tail in the back. Moving on to the next one on the bottom. This is a good New Hampshire. Decent coloring, nice tail angle. The tail is a bit too full in my opinion, but it is a nice looking bird. And then we have, what is this, a blue Jersey Giant, I believe. Tail angle is high, looks to kind of pinch towards the top. I'm looking for a fuller bird, once again, more in the breast area. Next two are Delawares, so the hen also lacks some pattern in the neck and some pattern going into the tail. Wings don't seem to be held super tight. This one does have a bit fuller of a breast, which is nice, but this one also has pale legs. And then this rooster, not in great condition. Wings are not held very tight, and tail appears to be missing quite a few feathers. But I do like the pattern on this one better than the hens. Has better pattern in the neck and going into the tail. And then this last one is a partridge version of the white one up top. And this one is just a very young bird. I can't say much about type because of how young it is. All right, first place, I'm going to put this New Hampshire rooster. And then second, I'm going to place this hen. The reason why I placed these two first, they have fuller body structure to them, fuller tail. This pullet has a nice full breast to her, the shorter neck, and she's a bit more round overall. I think next I'm going to place this white. This one is young, so I can't say too much about body structure, but overall, feathering and face-wise, feathers are held nice and tight, has good comb, nice face size and neck, also has nice yellow legs. And then the last one I'm going to place in this class is this rooster. And I'm placing this guy because he also has a bit more fuller of type. He has nicer coloring for the Delaware coloring. I'm just assuming he's out of condition. Otherwise, he would probably have more tail feathers rounding him out. And I think that's going to be the last one I'm going to place in this class.
Sounds good. You did not want a fifth place, correct?
I did not want a fifth place for this one.
Sounds good. You are good to move on to Best American. I pulled the top two from each slide. If there's more you want to see from a particular one or a third or fourth place, go ahead and let me know and I can bring them over too.
All right. All right. So for best in class, I'm going to put this silver-laced pullet. Yeah, she just really stood out to me. They have great type, these two silver-laced pullets. And then I'm going to place I think I'm going to put the other silver lace pullet as second, this barred rock, barred Plymouth Rock as third. I think I'm going to put this New Hampshire in fourth and this Rhode Island Red in fifth. You would really just have to look really close at this Rhode Island Red, but it does have nice coloring and nice type. So I think that is going to complete the class. Some very nice birds here.
Okay, ready to move on to Asiatic.
Yep. All right. So starting with Cochins. Hold on, my photos are fuzzy. So this first Cochin here, I like this bird. It has a nice tail. It's very round and it rounds out in the tail. Nice coloring and really nice head to this bird. Second one, this is a blue. I can't tell really from this angle exactly how well her tail angle looks, but it looks like she has a very long back and the tail just drops off from her back. With blues, we're looking for a bit more of lacing around every feather. So every feather should have a darker blue lacing around it, and that is your more ideal blue coloring. Next bird, this bird has good tail angle. It just doesn't round out as much as I would like. Nice breast area though, and decent looking head to this bird. Next, this one appears to be mixed variety. This is not an accepted variety in Cochins that I'm aware of, at least. And this bird just doesn't have the tail angle. It's kind of low. We're looking for more of a round structure to Cochins. Next, this little splash. The tail is also very low. I wish it was a little higher and rounded out. And then last, this black just doesn't look to be in great condition. Tail seems to be missing lots of feathers, and also wish it was a little more rounded. So first I'm going to place this black hen. And then I believe this one is a blue, this one on the red. Really hard to tell based on the lighting. And then we're going to place this blue. She just looks a little more mature than this splash, which I'm going to put fourth, and then this black will go fifth.
Sounds good. Do you want top 2 or top 3 for class champion?
I will take top 2.
Okay.
All right, moving on to best of variety for light Brahmas. Do you need a second Brie or are you good?
You're good. I'll let you know if I'm running behind just a little bit. But otherwise you should be good to go.
All right, so this first photo of this rooster, I can't tell body structure very well. He looks to be running away from the camera. That's probably why his tail seems to be down a bit more. He has decent coloring for a light bill. This next one, she has great face, pretty good neck, wings are held tight, and wish she had a little bit more of breast, but she looks to be a young bird and she will probably fill in. Her tail is very long though. I wish it came up and kind of like rounded out a little bit more. And it's not super full, but it's not extremely pinched either. This next bird, cute head and neck. She's a bit more filled out than this other one, but I'm not a fan of her tail. And she looks a little bit rough in condition. Her feathers don't lay down great. Moving on to next one in second row. This is a very young bird, still filling out. Can't say much about body structure and coloring yet, just because this bird is still growing out. Next rooster, nice coloring in the neck. The big thing that kind of pops out to me about him though is he's lacking color in his saddle feathers going into his black feathers in his tail. If you look at this next rooster, he kind of has this blacker coloring going into his tail, and this bird just has white feathers going into his tail. And then this last guy, I'm not a fan of how his wings are held. They could be held a little bit tighter. His tail angle is decent, but I wish it was fuller. All right, I think I'm gonna put, let's see, this pullet in first. I just like her coloring overall. And I think once she grows out a bit better, she should maybe grow into her tail as well. Second, I'm gonna put this pullet. She's a bit more fuller in her body structure. If she was a bit more conditioned, I think she'd look a little bit better. And third, I'm gonna put this rooster. He has a better tail angle, just wish it was a little bit more fuller. And then I'm gonna put this rooster. So he is lacking the color going into the tail, but he has good hackle feathering and he is bright white. And he also has a pretty decent looking head to him. And then last, I'm gonna put this rooster. He doesn't really fit in here, but he is more filled out than this little pullet that is young still.
Do you want top 2 or top 3 for best of breed?
I will take top 2 for these guys.
Sounds good.
All right, best of variety for dark Brahmas. So we have quite a few dark Brahmas here. All right, I will start from the top here. So this one standing on the post, this one appears to be a young bird. However, this bird does have decent penciling as of now and a nice head, but young bird. Next one, also a very young bird, also has decent penciling as of now. Next one standing on the post, another young bird. He is leaning forward, so I can't see his tail angle very well. Next one standing in this cardboard. Her tail is kind of down. It's kind of goes up and then flattens out. Wish she had a little bit crisper of penciling, but it's not horrible. And she does have a cute little head to her. Next one has a fuller tail than this last one. I do like the fuller tail. Her penciling, though, appears to be kind of dusty in color, I guess I can say, which is okay, but I wish it was a little bit more crisp. She does have the nice fuller chest to her, and she does have a decent looking head. Next one, again, I think this bird is just standing down from the picture. The tail kind of goes up and then flattens out, which is not something I'm looking for. Next, cockerel. His coloring could be a little bit more crisp. He is yellowing, which could be from the sun, and he's missing some tail feathers in there. Next pullet, I like this pullet. She has a bit better of body type to her. Wish she had a bit more crisper penciling to her, though. You can see in her chest feathers, it's kind of fading out. Next one, this tail is pinched at the end. And her penciling is actually decent up at the top of her wings, but it does fade out as you get into the tail. All right, second row. First one, standing on post, again, another young bird. Can't say much about this bird because it is pretty young and it looks to be balancing. That's why its tail is kind of down. Another one that looks to be youngish. And the first thing that pops out to me about this bird is in the chest area, you can see a lot of white. It's incomplete penciling here. Next one, this guy is what I'm looking for more in a rooster. He has decent coloring. It could be a little bit better, but his type is a lot better. He is more rounded out in the chest and in the kind of plumage area. And he does have nice crisp penciling in his feathers, in his saddle and hackle feathers. And then this next guy, I think I like even better than the other one. His tail rounds out a bit better, and he has better body type. Next guy, I'm not a fan of this guy's head. It's kind of, it goes up and then it's kind of straight. He has very long neck in this photo, but he does have decent body type to him. I can't tell if it's like saddle feathers that are kind of underneath his wing, but there's some white feathers coming out from underneath his wing, which might mean that his wings are held like really high. Next guy, he's kind of leaning downwards. He seems to have some white kind of coming in his leg feathers. And then his tail reaches up high. This pullet here, I really like her. She has a nice full tail to her. Nice head. And then this little cockerel here, he just looks really short. It might just be how the picture is taken. but his wings are going down. I don't like his wing angle, but overall his tail angle is decent. All right, I think that's all of them. All right. And first I'm going to put this rooster. He just overall has the best type here, I think, and he has pretty decent coloring to him. Second, I'm gonna put this rooster. He also has decent type and coloring. Third, I think I'm gonna put this pullet. She has nice open tail to her. It doesn't pinch. And she has a nice head and overall pretty decent body structure to her. And fourth, I'm gonna put this guy. He also has decent coloring. It may just be the way that this photo is taken that his wings are up. He might just be not a fan of the camera, like a lot of birds. And then in fifth, I'm going to, I think I'm gonna put this bird, this hen here. She also has more of an open tail to her. It doesn't come up pinched. And she has a nice head and face to her. I will take the first three from these guys. All right, moving on to best of variety, any other Brahma. So these guys are project colors, except for this buff here. And so I'm just gonna kind of walk through each of them. I don't know a whole lot about blue partridge Brahmas, but this first bird, pretty decent type to her. She's nice and rounded out, nice head and face, and what I can tell, decent coloring from my knowledge, which is not much about this coloring. This next rooster, I wish he was a little bit more fuller in the back, but overall he is nice coloring. I wish his comb was also a little bit more on his head instead of sticking up. Next, this is a splash partridge, maybe. This bird is nice and full, nice tail, nice full tail. This comb follows the head a little bit more. Nice head and nice neck. Then this pullet. Also, once again, nice breast, rounds out, open tail, and nice head and neck. First one, second row. It might just be the way this photo is taken, but kind of the tail points down, and I can't see much about how the tail is held. Decent head and neck, breast rounds out, nice. And then this guy, this guy's tail is not held out very well. It could be fuller, and the coloring on this bird is kind of splotchy. And then we have this splash rooster. Not a great tail, not a great angle for this photo to be taken. I can't tell much about his tail or the rest of his body because we're looking up at this bird. And then last we have this little buff who I like this bird's head and neck coloring. She actually does hold her tail decent. I wish there was a little bit more feathering in her tail, but overall decently held. All right. Let me see. So I think this buff has to go first because it's the accepted variety. And then we'll do this splash rooster. We'll do this blue partridge pullet. And then we'll do this pullet and then this male. All right. So this buff is decent, and I would have placed her anyways in the top 5, even if she wasn't an accepted variety here. This male in second, I really like him. He has nice body structure. He's nice and full. His tail is nice and full. These next 2 pullets, also pretty nice and full. They have nice tails, nice full tails, and their heads are nice. And then this last rooster, I just wish his tail was a little bit more full, and he was more full overall in the back area. I'll take the first one, well, because I can't place the other 2.
I pulled the top 2 for the next one, but yeah, the unrecognized variety can't place, sadly.
Yep. All right.
Go ahead and move to best of breed. If you want any more in there while you're going, just let me know and I can pull more in.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna place this guy as best of breed. Overall, I just like how his tail is held, how his body structure is. He's nice and full, and he's decent coloring to him. I'm gonna place. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna place this second rooster as second, and then this pullet as third. These are some nice dark Brahmas here. And I really like how they hold their tails and how their body structure is. And then I'm gonna place this buff and then this light. Overall, I just like these guys coloring a bit more. The buff is a bit more filled in. than the others here. And then this light, she has nice coloring, and hopefully she will grow into her tail when she gets a little older. All right, that completes the Brahmas. Moving on to also a breed can't pronounce, Langshans.
Yep, that's correct. It's pronounced Langshans.
Okay. All right, so we have some blues and some blacks here. I'm going to start with this black rooster. I like how he holds his tail. He has the nice upright tail, and it is decently full. He has a nice breast to him, and nice feathering going down the legs. Next, this hen. She has low tail. She does hold her feathers nice, though. She has nice feathers, but she has a very low tail. Next, this hen just looks a little bit out of condition. She has the more ideal tail angle to her. I wish she had the feathering that this first bird here had, the more close feathering instead of the loose feathering like she has currently. Next hen, also nice feathering on her, but her tail angle is down and low. Next row, moving on to these blues. This hen is very nice. I wish she had a little bit more fuller of a chest, rounding it out. And then going up into her tail, wish it was more of an even swoop up. And then her tail feathers don't seem totally conditioned, but she does have a nice tail angle and decent blue coloring. This bird does have the start of lacing around every feather, which is your ideal coloring for blue colored birds. This next pullet, also decent tail angle, also decent blue coloring. This bird doesn't have much of leg feathering though. It seems more sparse than this other one that you can see that came right before her. And then this blue male, great tail angle. I wish it was more full though. It's kind of lacking, and the wing feathers don't seem to lay straight, but that could just be how this bird was that day. All right. So I'm going to put I think I'm going to put this black rooster in first. I like overall how he holds his body. He has a bit fuller of a tail. And then he also has really nice feathering to him. Next, I think I'm going to put this I'm going to put the blue rooster. So I wish he just had a bit fuller of a tail. As you can see in this first guy, it's a bit fuller than what he has, which kind of lacks a little. Next, I'm going to put this pullet. So the reason why I'm placing this one in third instead of the other one is because she does have a little bit more of leg feathering on her. She has nice blue coloring. I can see the tail. It's nice and open and is not pinched. And then fourth, we're going to put this other blue pullet. She also has great blue coloring, nice tail angle, nice and open. She's just lacking a little more, as I can see, in of leg feathering. And then we're going to place this black one in fifth. And this one has good tail angle, it just needs a little bit better of conditioning. I will take the top 3.
You're good to go for best of class.
All right.
And then, do you want to take a break after Asiatic for lunch and come back?
Sure.
Okay. So we'll be taking like a 20-minute break once we decide best of class here.
All right. Hold on, let me just check something in the standard quick. Okay. So I'm going to place this guy as best of class. And then I think I'm going to put this pullet and then this guy, this guy, and then this guy. All right, so that'll be the Asiatic class winners.
Do you want to give a little bit of reasoning why you placed him how you did?
Sure. So this Brahma, he is really nice type, very close to good coloring. He has a little bit of yellowing, but that's probably just from the sun. Happens in a lot of white colored birds. His wing coloring is what I guess stands out to me most. He has the white tips on his wings, and then it's the green, and then it's the white again. This Cochin, she has pretty nice type. I love how her tail just rounds out. She has that overall round body type. She's nice and full. She has a nice head, a nice small comb. Her neck arches right into her head. And then this other dark Brahma, he also has the white and then the green and then the white in his wings. He also has a nice type. I think he's just leaning down a little in this picture. Then we have the Langshan. He stood out to me, but I wish he was a little more full in the tail. But overall, he is really nice type to him and nice feather quality. And then we have this blue Langshan, who I wish was more full in the tail, but he also has a nice type to him. And just wish his feather quality was a little bit better.
Sounds good. We're going to take a 20-minute break for lunch. I'll throw a timer up on here. Yeah, see you all in a little bit. Okay, and we're back. So we are on the Continental, is where we left off. Just a heads up, I had a bunch of people asking if it's possible to, there we go, make sure it's working right. I had a bunch of people asking if it is possible to go back and view it. We aren't going to go back and recap those until afterwards, but you can go back and replay and rewind parts of the stream, so you're whenever you would like, and you can go and see like the previous classes and the reasonings for that. You don't have to watch it live if you don't want to. The other thing is I got the YouTube fixed, so you should be able to comment on there. I had YouTube Kids on because it was the youth show, but that made it so you couldn't comment. So you should be able to comment now. If you're still having issues, go ahead. You can go on the Facebook Live, and that comment is for sure working. And what else? You can also send me an email or chat on the website. I get both of those pretty easily. And if I catch it in time, I'll forward it to Izzy to answer. So, yeah. And with that, let's get going with Continental.
All right. So we're starting with our Morans here. All right, so this first bird, almost all of these are coppers. All right, so this first bird is a black copper. She has a lot of copper leakage coming down into her chest and almost into her back. It comes a little bit into her wings as well, which is not ideally what you want. You want it to kind of stay up into the hackle feathers a bit more. This bird also has like a high tail that's going up. It's not a very full tail. And then the wings don't look like they are held tight very well either. Moving on to this rooster. This guy actually has pretty decent coloring on him. I like the way he is holding his tail. It's a bit more of your ideal Moran's type for your males. He's holding his wings up nice and tight, and he's not too yellow. That seems to be a common issue where a lot of Moran's roosters have a lot of yellow or gold coloring in them. He could use a little bit more feathering on his legs. It also looks like he's missing a toenail. All right, this next male. So this guy has his comb flopped, which is not something you want in this breed. You don't want a floppy comb. He has decent coloring. His tail's coming up a little bit more than I would like. I like a bit more of an angle than just like a straight up. But his tail is filled out a bit more. He has nice feathering down his legs. Just not a fan of his comb flop. It's not something you want in this breed. All right, next, this looks to be a solid black. So this bird has a very high tail as well. With the females, you want it to come out and then kind of arch back. This bird is holding his wings very well though. And I would like to see a little bit more feathering in the shanks, coming down onto the first toe a little too, the outer toe. First bird, second row. This bird appears to be young. I don't see much feathering down its shanks. It also does not seem to have much copper coloring, but I can't really tell that much from this angle. Tail angle's a little better, but pretty hard to tell from this angle again. Next, this is a blue copper. They are not a recognized variety, I believe. And then this bird starts to have a halo at the bottom. You can see it's the yellow coloring at the bottom of its hackle feathers. This is considered a halo if it goes all the way around, and it's not something you want. This bird also is starting to have squirrel tail, which is where the tail comes past the 90-degree angle up over its back a bit more. You don't want a tail this high. Next, this black copper hen, she has very nice coloring down in her neck. She has nice feathering down her shanks. It comes down onto that first toe and not onto the middle one. Her tail could use a bit more feathering on it, but it is at a decent angle, and it looks like it's starting to curve over a little. She has a nice close comb that's not super big and floppy. Moving on to this next guy, he looks to be maybe a blue cuckoo. They are not a recognized variety. We're looking for a bit darker of leg coloring, like slate colored legs. I can't tell much based off of the way he's standing on type, but he is not a recognized variety, so I can't place him very high. And then this is the last guy. He has very nice coloring. His tail could curve over a little bit more, maybe be a little more fuller. But overall, he has nice feathering down his shanks. He has nice black coloring without additional leakage in it. And he does not have a bright halo. All right, so I think I'm gonna put this hen first. And then I'm gonna put this rooster. So this hen, she has great coloring, has great feather quality, great feathers going down her shanks. She just needs a little bit more fullness in her tail. This rooster, very nice coloring. He also just needs to have a little bit more fullness in his tail. All right, this rooster is going to go third. I like his type the most out of all of these. However, he is sparse on leg feathering and he is missing, it looks to be 2 toenails.
Again, it's a little bit hard to see on the YouTube video or the Facebook live stream about those toenails. Let me show you what it looks like full size, and it's a little bit easier to see. So this is the original image, and this is what Izzy is doing. She's able to look and see like this full size image, and you can see just a little bit more that there's some toenails missing. So if there's anything that you can't see in the video, or you want to see clear or get a little bit more clarity on, go ahead and let me know, and I can, like in the comments, go ahead and I can blow it up for you guys. So,
yep. All right, and then I'm gonna put this guy in fourth. I like his coloring, but he does have a floppy comb, which is not ideal for the breed. And then I think I'm going to put this little pullet in fifth. She looks to be to the point where she could maybe grow out of her lack of tail. She might fill in a bit more there. She might get a little bit more copper. It's hard to tell from this angle. She could use some more feathering on her shanks, but I think she is the most promising out of the rest of these. All right, if you want to move over the first 3. Okay, moving on to best of breed for Polish. So we have three birds here that are not of a recognized variety, which would be these first two and then the second one in the second row. So I'm just going to judge these guys, give you some feedback on their body type. All right, so this first one, she has a high tail to her. On Polish, I'm looking more for a nice slope right into the tail on the back, and the tail will be downset quite a bit more than this. She does have a nice full tail though. Same with the second bird, she also has a pretty high tail to her. I'm looking more for that slope instead of that right up into the tail. And then I'll jump right down to this other bird right away. So this one, this one's better with the tail angle, but it does appear that this one is lacking in the tail. It looks a little pinched up on top. All right, moving on to the buff-laced. So this rooster here, he actually has decent type. I wish it went a little more smoothly into his tail, but he has decent lacing, nice beard and crest on him, and nice leg color. This golden laced, she has nice beard and crest. She actually has pretty decent lacing on her as well. I wish her tail was set down a little bit more and it was a little bit more open. Moving down to this white Polish, this guy is pretty poorly conditioned. Crest and muffs are dirty. It's missing some feathers on its back. And it doesn't look to be in its natural stance right here. Its tail's really low. So I think this bird could be a lot better if it was better conditioned. And then this last guy. This guy I think is going to be my favorite, this buff-laced. She is pretty good lacing. Her tail, as you can see, it kind of follows her back. Her back goes right into her tail and kind of slopes out. I wish it was a little bit more full. The tail feathers seem to be a little bit unconditioned here. But I think she is the best in this group for type-wise, and she also has pretty decent coloring. So this guy is going to be my first. And then we're going to go with this other buff-laced as my second. This golden laced will go as my third. The white will go fourth, and then this guy will go fifth. If you want to take the first two from the slide. All right, moving on to any other breeds. So this guy in the corner here, this one was entered as a Sapphire Splash, I believe, which is a hatchery mix. So this one is sadly not a breed. And then I'm going to also mention this Russian Orlov here quick. So this guy is not an accepted variety, but I am just going to make some notes for the person. So this guy has really nice muffs and beard, pretty decent body type, nice coloring. It's rich, dark red. The tail angle's okay. It kind of appears to pinch though coming up. All right. So we're gonna jump right into this Hamburg here. So this guy, a little bit out of condition. The comb is a little bit incorrect. It's supposed to be a nice rose comb that kind of comes up. It almost looks like this bird has a pea comb in this photo. Then the tail angle is decent. It could use a little bit more conditioning in the tail, but I like that it's not extremely pinched. The coloring in the chest, it is a little too black for my liking. I like a little bit more white in there. Every feather on these guys should be white tipped with a little black. All right, moving on to, I can't pronounce these guys. Crevacors? Maybe that's how you pronounce it. So this Crevacor?
Yep.
Okay. So this guy is actually a pretty nice looking bird. I really like this guy. Decent tail angle. Really nice coloring, like how the feathers are held. Nice leg coloring. Nice muffs and crest. I can't say too much bad about this bird. All right, moving on to this golden campion. This guy actually is really nice, pretty nice body type to her. It's hard to tell from this photo, but I'm unsure if the wings are held tight or not. It almost looks like they're a little loose. And then the tail feathers could be a little bit more conditioned. But overall, this bird's body structure is pretty decent. Moving on to this Welsummer. Pretty nice coloring on this guy, actually. I wish I could see this bird stand looking straight at it with its head up a bit more to see its tail angle. I can't say too much about this bird's body type because I can't see accurately how this guy's tail sits. But he does have really nice coloring. And then we have this silver Barnevelder. So these guys are not actually a recognized variety. The silvers aren't. This guy could use better coloring. You kind of see how it's like fading in and out across the body here. The tail feathers could use a little bit more conditioning, but overall this bird has a really nice head to her. And then this Favorelli. So this picture is sideways just because it was uploaded a little different. But this bird is pretty decent. Nice muffs and beard. Really nice coloring, and from what I can tell, this bird has a nice tail set, and it looks to be a nice spread open tail and not pinched. And then we have this Welsummer down here. This hen, she has poor coloring. I'd like to see a little bit darker back in the back area. She's not conditioned great. She seems to be missing some feathers, maybe rooster damage or molting. And then her tail is very high and it looks a little rough. I wish it was a little more spread. And then we have this Barnevelder. So this is the septed variety here. It's very hard to see this bird's pattern. This bird has a lot of black and you can't make out the pattern very well. She seems to almost have a pinched tail up here. And then this golden campion, this male, he seems to have loose wings. He has decent coloring, wish his tail feathers were a little bit more conditioned. His tail could sit down a little lower. It could curve out a little lower. Okay, and then, yeah, we went over that guy. Okay, so I'm gonna put this guy first. This one is a great looking bird, great feather quality. I couldn't really say too much bad about that bird. I think I'm going to put this golden campine second. And then this Favorelli third. Oops. Oh my gosh. And then I think I'm going to do this guy and then this guy. So I really like these campines. They're very nice. They have nice coloring. I wish their wings were held a little bit more tighter. This Favorelli, hard to tell from the photo, but looks to have really nice coloring, nice muffs and beard, and looks to have a nice tail. And then this Hamburg, decent body type, decent coloring, wish it was a little bit more conditioned.
And then, yep, that should be good. You, just a clarification, someone had emailed me. I don't know how they got the email that fast. Favorels is how they pronounce that. But
Okay,
yeah.
Favorel.
And
I've heard it multiple ways, so I wasn't sure.
yeah. And then the reason it kept switching sideways, when they uploaded it, it came through as a PDF. So just as a note to people looking to enter for next year, make sure when you're uploading, it's in a JPG or a .png image format. If it comes in as a document format like the PNG or the PDF, it's going to do some funky things with our software. So
All right.
And then here's the best in class continental. Top row is the top birds. Bottom row was the reserve. If you want any more or you want me to pull a third or fourth place, just let me know.
Okay. I'm going to put this guy first. This guy second. This guy third. Fourth. And fifth. All right. So the reason why I placed this guy first is I don't see too many defaults in this bird. It has really nice body type and nice feather quality. This Polish got second because it has nice tail angle. Wish it was a little bit more conditioned, but nice coloring and all. This Golden Campine got third because also really nice body structure. Also wish it had a little bit more feather conditioning. This Miran's got fourth because nice body type, nice coloring. Wish the tail was a little bit better though. Same with this Polish that got fifth. Nice body type and all, but wish the tail was a little bit better. All right. Looks like we're moving on to English. Okay. So these are the buff varieties. So let's start with this first bird. So I really like this bird right off the bat. Really nice full body structure, really beautiful buff coloring, nice feather quality, really nice head, nice small comb. The tail angle is great. Can't say too much wrong about that one. All right, this next one. Really nice in the front part of the body, but as we get into the back and tail, it seems to lack a little bit. The tail is not very full. Tail angle is decent though. Third, this one looks more like a production bred, buff, large comb, lacking a little bit in the breast area. Tail seems to go up and a little pinched instead of the full as seen in the first photo. Next, we have this young one. Can't say much about this bird because its tail's tucked down, it's really young, and I won't be able to tell body structure very well. And the last one on the first row also appears to be more of a production bred. High tail, could just be because it's running, but it looks to be pinched up at the top, and it's very flat down the back end. Then first one, second row, lacking in the breast area. Wish it was a little bit more rounded out. Tail goes up high, appears to be a little bit pinched at the top. Right, moving on to this male. He has really nice buff coloring. He's a little sideways, but he has a nice open tail that kind of rounds out at the end. And he has a nice rounded breast area. Moving on, we have a young one here. This one looks unconditioned, not much of a tail. Still has the baby feathers. Next one also looks unconditioned, loose wings, baby feathers. Moving on to the one on the ladder. This one's sitting weird, so I can't tell tail angle very well. Does have a bit more of an open tail angle though. It doesn't appear to be pinched too bad. And then this last one. This one has decent body type. Wish it was a little bit more full in the breast. And maybe a little bit more full in the tail. All right. So this pullet is going to go first. She had nice full breast area, very nice and fluffy, nice tail angle. And then this rooster is going to go second. He also had really nice tail, pretty decent body structure. We're going to put this one in third. She's lacking a little bit in the breast, but she does seem to overall be a little better in the body structure. She has a nice buff coloring. Her tail angle's nicer. We're going to put this one in fourth. She has nice breast area, rounded out. Wish she had a little bit more in her tail, but it could just be from poor conditioning, but she has really nice head on her. And then we're going to put this one in fifth. This one is also lacking a bit in the breast area, but this one's tail angle is probably the nicest out of the other ones. And it's lacking a little bit in the tail as well. It seems to be kind of pinched up towards the top. I'll take the first two off of this slide.
I'm pulling top three for, we only have 2 variety slides, so I'll pull top 3 for both so we have enough.
Okay. All right. Okay, moving on to other Orpingtons. So we have hold on. All right. So I don't believe Jubilees are an accepted variety. But we do have some lavenders and then blues and blacks. And then it looks like chocolate. Okay. So starting with this first bird, this one's kind of standing down, but looks to be lacking a little in the breast area. High tail, maybe a little pinched up at top. This second one here, this one has a nice head. I guess that's the first thing that points out to me. Has decent tail angle, but appears to be pinched up on top. Hard to tell too much else because I can't see the bird from a side profile. And then this third one, hard to tell. Not the greatest picture, but this one doesn't have the greatest tail angle. Maybe a little bit pinched up on top too. All right, moving on to these guys. So this bird has really nice body type, nice and rounded out, nice tail angle, really nice head. I really like this bird, but I don't believe they are an accepted variety.
The only accepted Orpington varieties are black, buff, blue, and white. Jubilee Orpingtons have a proposed standard that I believe they're in the process of getting accepted, but I could be wrong on that.
All right, moving on to this male. First thing that I see is he has an extremely short back, not much of a back at all. He kind of just goes right from the neck to his tail, which I would like to see a little bit more of a back to him. That'll come down and dip and then come right up into the tail. Nice coloring, that nice darker coloring that you want to see, I believe, in the Jubilees. And then this chocolate, this one is young. Can't say much about type because it's still growing out, but it has long back and high tail. And then we have this blue. So this guy's really nice. Wish his tail maybe extended a little longer, and maybe his body was a little bit longer. But otherwise, really nice. Wish he had a little bit more of lacing in his blue, but he's not super light either. Okay, moving down to first one and second row. This is a black hen. She just looks very unconditioned. Her tail feathers are very lacking. Right, next we have another Jubilee hen. She is very pretty. Very nice tail, very nice breast area, and a nice head. And then this next one, another that's has a very nice body type, not lacking too much in the breast area, nice coloring and nice face. And then a blue rooster. This one, he has something going on with the feathers near his legs. He might just be blown out. But he has decent coloring, which there is a little bit more lacing in his coloring. And his tail, I wish it went a little bit farther out. But overall, it looks decent. And then this blue, he might just be turning away from me. But his tail kind of comes up really far, and it kind of peaks and then drops down. Wish he had a little bit better of blue lacing as well. And then this last blackbird also doesn't have much of a back. He is lacking in the breast area, but he has decent feather quality. Okay. So I think I'm going to put this blue male first. And then we're going to do So I like this guy because he has the nice round front to him. He has nice tight wings, and his tail is nice and full. And then I'm gonna do this black male. He is lacking back to him. He appears more like a Wyandotte type here, but he has a nice full tail. His wings are held up higher. This first bird, his wings are held kind of low. And he could use a little bit more in his chest area. But overall, he's a decent bird. And then I'm going to do this rooster. I think he's just leaning kind of away from me. That's why his tail's up so high. But he seems to have a nice fuller tail to him. Wish he had a little bit more blue coloring to him. But he has the nice wing placement. And I'm going to do this guy. He's lacking in his chest. Wish he was a little bit more rounded out. He has a nice tail. His tail is nice and full. And then I'm going to choose this lavender pullet. And it's hard to just tell how round she is, but her tail angle looks to be decent. She's just lacking a little in the tail. All right. I really do like these Jubilees. They are gorgeous, but sadly they are not a recognized variety. All right. Best of breed for Orpingtons. I'm gonna start with this buff pullet. She's very pretty, really gorgeous buff coloring on her. Not lacking too much. She has a gorgeous face. Love her head shape and love how her tail is put together. Gorgeous wing carriage. And then I'm gonna do oh my gosh. Sorry about the dogs. Hey, Leia. No. And then we have a buff rooster that's gonna go in second. This guy, he has more of this American type to him. I feel like the others are a little bit more of the English type to them. This guy has a little bit longer of a back that goes in. Really nice buff coloring too, and he has nice wing carriage. And then I'm gonna put this blue male, really nice tail angle. His wings do slant down a little. That's my biggest fault on him. But decent head and really nice breast area. And then I'm gonna do this black male. This guy's lacking a little in the chest, but really nice full tail. And then I'm gonna do this buff pullet. She's lacking a little in the chest, but she has a decent tail angle and it doesn't seem overly pinched, and she has nice wing carriage as well.
So we had someone asking if the lavender on the any other variety can place over the black. It can if the black is disqualified. So I'm not sure if there is a defect or disqualification on the black where the lavender would place over, or if it was just a mix-up. So we can go ahead and clear that up, and then we'll go back to.
I mean, I guess the reason why I didn't choose the black was because it was very under-conditioned. It didn't seem to represent the breed very well. Would you like me to switch it?
It's up to you. So if you believe that it is not enough to place, if the black cannot place due to a not being best type or not being like standard quality, then you can place the lavender. If you believe that the black has enough that you could place it, has enough shape and standard type, then it places over the lavender.
I'll switch it just so there's no controversy. All right, let me just make some facts about this black then. The black's lacking in the chest. It really isn't great condition. It probably would be better if it was conditioned. It's just missing a lot in its tail. It just overall looks in pretty rough condition, but it does have a decent head to him. All right.
And then this is just one I can answer. Lily Brezek had asked, is there a list anywhere of what classes and categories win ribbons? So if you go to the Pips and Chicks website, ourpipsandchicks.wixsite.com/poultry, under virtual show and under 2023 awards is the list of everything. It's also on the Facebook page in a few different places. All of your class champions win certificates and cash awards. Almost all of them win cash awards, as well as rosettes. And then your champion and reserve overall youth largefowl will win plaques and certificates. And then there are some breeds do have best of breed ribbons. So those were add-on awards. If they didn't have a sponsor, they didn't get a best of breed ribbon. So you can go ahead and see the full list on the website.
All right. Okay. Any other breed? Okay, so we have some Sussex here, and then a couple black Australorps, I believe. Okay, so we'll start with the speckled Sussex. Hard to tell from the photo her body type. She's kind of stepping away and looking away. She does have a high tail to her that might be pinched up at the top. Hard to tell. She does have really pretty coloring though, and a nice wing set. And then we'll go right to the other Sussex right away. So we'll start with this little hen, this light hen. Her tail goes right up and pinches at the top. She doesn't have much of a tail at all. She has a very large comb to her and wattles. I'm looking for a little bit smaller of comb and wattles. And then this male, he's actually very nice looking, nice coloring, nice tail feathers. His tail is actually at a pretty decent angle. Wish his wings were maybe a little bit more tucked up. But overall, he's a pretty decent looking bird. And then we'll start with the Australorps. So this first one standing on like the green grass. This one doesn't seem to have the best feather quality. You can see some of the fraying in the feathers. She appears to be kind of young, or maybe a production bred bird where she's lacking a lot of the body depth. I wish I could see a bit more in her chest area. And then her tail angle is pretty high. I want to see it come right off the back and curve over. Moving on to second row. first hen. Better feather quality. Her back's pretty straight, and then it kind of just pops up right into her tail, so her tail is pretty high. Also wish her legs were darker. And then this second hen, second row, also better feather quality than the first one. Nice smaller comb to her. The tail does once again pop up, but it is more fuller than the others. And she has a nice wing carriage. And then this last one, tail once again appears to be high and kind of pinched up at the top, lacking a lot in the hind end. All right. So I'm going to place this Sussex male first, this light. And then we're going to do this Australorp second. I think I'm going to do this one third, this one fourth, and this guy fifth. All right. So I picked the Sussex male first because he has the best type, I think, out of any of these birds for their breed. He also has decent coloring. This Australorp hen I picked second because she has nice feather quality. Her tail is a bit more spread out, and she has a nice looking head. This one's third because this one has a bit better of breast area. It's fuller down there. However, her tail does kind of come up. This speckled Sussex is in fourth because I can't really tell her body quality great, but she does have decent wing carriage, decent coloring. And then this light Sussex hen is fifth because she has decent body structure overall, but her comb and wattles are big and her tail's up and pinched. All right. Picking best of class here. I'm going to go right away with this buff Orpington pullet. Once again, love this bird. Really nice body structure, nice buff coloring. I'm going to put this buff Orpington male in second. Once again, he has a really nice tail to him, nice buff coloring, nice wing carriage. I think I'm going to put this blue Orpington third. Nice full body, nice full tail. Pretty nice head to him. And then this guy fourth. I wish he had a bit smaller wattles and comb. Overall, his coloring could be a little better. His tail could sit a little lower. His back kind of slopes up instead of slightly sloping down into his tail. And then we're going to do this Australorp fifth. Are we good to move on to Mediterranean?
Yep, you're on best of breed Leghorn.
Oh, where's that slide? Oh, here it is. It's sitting above the others for some reason. All right. Okay. So I'm going to start with this little, oh, there's pictures covering others. There we go. Okay, I think that's all of them. Okay, so we'll start with these whites here. This first one, pretty young, lax breast, probably just because it's so young. And then the tail, long back right up into the tail, very high tail angle. And the second one, also lax in the breast. These are production bred birds. I'm looking for more of a slope into the tail instead of down and then right up into it. Okay, and then this silver leghorn here. Lax tail on him. Wings look like they're not held tight very well. And then let me just drag these guys by each other. So these guys are dark brown leghorns. Both of these have pretty decent type on them, actually. This rooster here has pretty nice coloring. Wish he maybe had a little bit more in the breast area, but overall he's a pretty good looking bird. His tail comes out nice and it's filled in. He's really nice dark brown coloring to him. And then this pullet, wish she held her wings a little tighter maybe. Also really nice coloring. On her, you can see how from the back it slopes up into the tail instead of the tail just coming straight up off the back. And then moving over to the light browns, this first top hen here, really nice coloring on her. Love her tail, it's nice and full. And then the one below her, she has decent coloring, wish it was maybe a little darker. And then her tail comes up a little too much. And this male, his tail is high. He just doesn't look to be in great condition feather quality wise. Wish he had a little more color around his neck area. Okay. So for leghorns, I'm gonna pick I think I'm gonna do this. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this dark brown male first. I really like him. It's hard to get that nice coloring. He has really gorgeous coloring. I wish you could see the picture up closer. Evenly spaced, and he has decent body structure overall. Nice full tail on him. And then I'm gonna do this light brown hen in second. She has really nice coloring, nice tightly held wings to her, and nice tail angle. And then this light brown, or this dark brown hen will come in third just because her wings are not held very tight. And then we're going to do this light brown in fourth.
Just looking at that leghorn a little bit closer, I blew it up. Is that a disqualification with the tines on the comb? Caught my eye. Let me share the tab so you guys can see from the. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it has 7 tines on there. Pulling up my standard.
I'm looking it up here. Like the points on his comb?
Yep.
Nope. Only disqualification. Oh, wait, hold on. So the disqualifications are.
Yep. So general disqualifications, page 33 of. I'm in the 44th standard, but for comb, for single comb. Oh, I take that back. I was looking at rose comb. Okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't be how many points are on the comb.
Okay. I know some breeds do have strict rules on combs, so just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, the only disqualifications for leghorns are red covering more than 1/3 the surface of earlobes and above weight standard.
Okay. Just making sure.
Okay, and then I don't think I'm going to place a 5th for this class.
Sounds good. Do you want? I'm gonna pull top 3 for Mediterranean, as we only have one other breed in there. So
All right, so these guys next are rose-comb Minorcas. I've never actually personally seen rose-combs before in Minorcas. So this first one, she actually has a broken beak, sadly. And she does have a bit high of a tail. Wish her feather quality was maybe a little bit better in her tail. And then the second guy, he actually has pretty decent type on him. Pretty decent feather quality as well. I can't say too much about this guy. So I'm going to place this guy first and then the little poet second.
I'm still going back to that leghorn standard. Sorry to go. We had another person email us about it. It is in the leghorn standard that it should have 5 points. I know it's a defect. I don't know if it counts as a disqualification on there. So, but 5 points is listed on there. So I don't know if that changes your standing at all on that. But no, we just had people emailing me about it, and I wanted to be sure. Let me see. So if that's still how you want to keep it, we can keep it like that. But just wanted to let you know on there and let the person who emailed, let them know that I saw that.
I'll switch the rooster with this light brown hen, but the others all have 6
Okay.
points still too. So
Okay. Just wanted
there's none with
that.
5.
Okay. And then I will pull those over. Give me 1 second. Ooh. Okay, you should be good to go for best of class.
Okay. I'm going to put this guy first. Light brown will go second. This guy's going to go third, fourth, fifth. All right, so I put this Minorca first because he has a nice long back that a Minorca should have. Wish his wings were a little bit more tucked up maybe. But overall he has a really nice full tail to him. This light brown's going second. She has nice type. Wish her tail was maybe a little bit more full, but she's really nice coloring too. This guy's going third because he also has nice type, nice coloring. Fourth for this dark brown leghorn. I wish her wing was maybe a little more held up. It looks a little loose. And then this guy's going fifth because she has a broken beak.
So for this one there, for people watching, we're on Best of Breed Phoenix. We had some issues going through when we were talking about whether or not to sort them out by variety, figuring out there should be a clear distinction between the two, and we couldn't tell for some of them. So we decided to do one big breed category instead of breaking it down by variety for this.
Yep. All right. Let me pull out my standards so I'm not missing anything for you guys. Okay. So starting with this first hen. Oh my gosh, my photos are really blurry right now. I like this hen. Her comb kind of is just in the front here. I wish it went a little bit farther down. She has nice tail width. Wish her tail was held a little lower though. But overall, she has decent coloring. Second pullet, she has nice curve in her tail. I can't see the face very well right now because it's really blurry. But decent coloring and in nice condition. Third, this one has a very high tail. Wish she was a little lower and curved over a bit more. Can't see the side of her head to see comb all the way, but decent coloring. This fourth bird, believe this is a golden male. He has pretty decent coloring coming into his wings. Wish he had a little bit more white at the base of his wings, maybe. But he has a nice tail, and he's in decent condition. Next little pullet, nice head, nice body. Tail is nice. Wish it was a little bit more opened up, but that could just be the way she's moving. Next is a silver male. He's in pretty poor condition. Tail feathers aren't in great condition. His wings don't seem to be in great condition either. And he has a very large comb to him. Next, we have another golden male. This guy has this white at the base of his wing. You could not see that in the other bird. He has the nice green sheen, and then the little bit orange color, and then the golden color down in his hackle and saddle feathers. Nice tail. And then the baby red phoenix male here. These guys are a newer accepted variety. So he has pretty decent coloring. Wish he had a little bit more white in his earlobes. It looks like he has some red coming in. Wish his tail was a little bit more out, fuller. Second male, or the male in the second row. This guy is really nice looking, really beautiful colors, really beautiful tail, really nice full tail. Wish his comb followed his head maybe a little bit more instead of sticking straight up. And then we have this pullet next. She's pretty decent coloring as well. Her comb follows her head a little bit more. Wish her back went right into her tail. It looks like there's a little bit of a jump there. Next we have a silver male. This guy isn't great coloring. Wish his wings were a little bit more tucked up underneath him. His tail could be in a little bit better of condition. His comb is really big. Next we have a golden male. Also decent coloring. Wish the bottom of his wings was a little more white instead of golden. Decent comb. It follows his head a bit better. Decent tail. Wish it was a little bit more fuller. Next pullet. I'm not a fan of this one's coloring. Seems very mossy coloring, especially in the wings and up on top of the tail there. And then this last guy in this row, can't tell much on his type because we're looking down at this bird. His wings seem to go almost straight down. All right, moving on to rooster in the last row. I can't tell much about this guy because lighting's a little off, but his wings don't seem to be very tight. His tail feathers are pretty beat up and not conditioned. Next male, he has some red in his earlobes. He seems to have a decent tail though, but his comb is starting to maybe flop over. Hard to tell if it's just the way he's tilting his head. Next, I really like this pullet. She has a really nice tail set to her, really nice coloring. Her face is really nice. Next, another little pullet here. Wish her comb and wattles were maybe a little bit brighter of a red, but she was probably young. Her coloring's decent. Her tail angle is pretty decent as well. Next, this rooster, wish his wings were a little bit held together nicer. He has really large comb with a lot of points on it, and his tail feathers are in pretty roughed up condition. Next pullet, her tail is nice and sloped out. Wish it was a little bit more full maybe. And this next pullet, this one shows how a little bit more full can be. Nice coloring, nice head, love the comb that follows the head a bit more. All right.
Before you place these, I have 2 errors come up. One, the person messaged me on about not having a bird submitted that I'm talking to right now. It doesn't look like it. I don't think I will be adding it in. We also potentially have an issue with an exhibitor entering a bird that either was not theirs or the exhibitor not being youth. So I am going to follow up on those, and we can come back to best of breed for the Phoenix. So let's pass over this one. We'll come back to this before we get to the best all other standard breeds, and hopefully I'll have some more information. And I want to double check, make sure everything's accurate before we go ahead and start placing.
Okay. All right, moving on to Americanas. So we have 2 blacks, 2 blue wheatens, some whites, and some others. All right. So this first black here, she had. It's really hard to tell her body structure because she's kind of looking right at us, but she has nice black coloring. From this photo, it looks like her tail angle looks to be decent. Wings are held tight, and she looks to have good depth in her breast area. Nice comb and wattles, nice small comb. I really like that pullet. We have this blue wheaten. He has some yellowing down here, which is okay. His tail's not super full. I would like it a little bit more fuller, but it's not a horrible tail angle at all. Wish his legs were a bit darker, maybe. Supposed to be more slate. And then this next one is an Easter egger. So this one is not actually purebred here. Next we have a little self blue. I wish her tail was maybe a little lower, a little bit more fanned out. Decent muffs and beards. Comb follows her head. Seems to have decent width in her breast area. Maybe her wings could be held a little bit tighter. Then we have this black cockerel. He's pretty young. I can't say too much about him because of his age. Then we have a white cockerel here, and he is also pretty young. Once again, can't say too much about him because of his age. Second row, white pullet here, also pretty young. Really nice muffs and beards though. And then we have blue wheaten here. And he has a lot of red in his tail. Should not have a lot of red in his tail. He also has fluff at the base of his tail. And I'm not a fan of the yellow that's kind of at the base of his hackles. Next bird is an Easter egger. Once again, not an accepted breed. Then we have another young one. This is a little splash cockerel. Can't say too much about him because of his age. And this is a little blue pullet, probably. Can't say too much because of the age. And then lastly, we have a little white pullet. and I can't say too much about age as well. All right. So I'm going to put this black in first. You'd have to kind of blow up the picture to see her a bit better. And then I'm going to do I think I'm going to put this guy in second. And then so these guys are out. We're gonna put this little young one. Actually, I'm gonna put this guy and then this guy. And then this one. All right. So I chose this black hen because she is pretty decent type, nice muffs, beards, even coloring. This blue Wheaton's going second because he has decent tail angle. Wish it was a little more fuller. Wish he had a little bit better of coloring in here. And then this one's third. Actually, hold on. I think I'm going to switch these two. I forgot this guy doesn't have dark legs. So this guy's going to go in second because she's a bit fuller of body, nice muffs, beards, small comb, nice slate legs. This guy I moved to third because he doesn't have as great of slate legs on him. And then our fourth and fifth are just going to be these young ones here. They have nice coloring, nice muffs and beards, and nice leg color for whites. And then
we'll go on to the any other all standard breeds and then go back to the Phoenix, and I'll address the issues that we're having.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So in this class, we have some naked necks, and then we have some Iam Samanis, Kubelea, and leg bars, and then this Bielfelder in a modern game. So I'm going to start by addressing the ones that are not recognized breeds. So that would be these leg bars here. I did look up the proposed standard just so I could give some feedback to you guys. So this male actually has pretty decent coloring. He's carrying himself nice. He has a nice tail. He has the crest I can see behind his comb. And then this little hen. her comb does kind of bend kind of here. I'm not sure if that's something that is wanted in like birds or not, but she does have the little bit of a crest behind her comb there, and she has decent coloring. And then we'll go to these Iamsomanes. I could not really find a standard very much for these guys, except for the fact I know you're not supposed to have much white on them. So this one I can tell there's a little bit of white on the tip of the beak. So that's the only fault I can see in these guys. All right, so going to this little modern game here. So I would like the tail actually pinched a little bit more and running a little bit like straighter back down the back here. Decent coloring, nice little head, nice comb. Can't say too much about this bird. And then we'll go to the Kubelayas here. So this hen, she just doesn't seem conditioned too well. Her wings should be held a little bit tighter. And I would like a tiny bit lower of a tail so it like slopes down even more. But overall, pretty cute little Kubulea. And then this male, he's really nice. I love his coloring, love tail angle, love body. He's just panting a little, so his wings are sticking out. He does, however, have a couple white feathers in here, which I believe is, let me double check. I believe that is default. Yeah, positive white showing on surface of plumage. So that would be a default for him. This white feather here. And then we'll go to the naked neck. So this one on the far right, on the first.
Jumping in, I have a 911 call that I have to go to. So
Okay.
I will be back in a little bit. As far as all other standard breeds go ahead and judge these. If I'm not back in time, you can go ahead and take probably a 20-minute break, and I will be back hopefully by then. So.
Okay, so you want me to do Phoenix?
Do not do Phoenix yet. That I have to make an announcement on and clarify a few things first. But go ahead and judge best of breed for any other, and then I will hopefully be back after a 20-minute break. Sorry for the thing. First responders are kind of, I'm at the mercy of the call. So I will be back hopefully in a couple minutes.
All right. Okay. This little naked neck on the first row, far right. So this one is looks to be mixed variety. Has some copper coloring kind of in the chest area. Looking for a little bit tighter of wing. This one also looks to be young, so I can't say too much about this one. And then the one standing on the ladder in the second row also has copper leakage coming down on him. And this one has nicer wings. They're held tighter. And then this next one, this one's actually pretty nice looking black. No leakage, wings held together tightly, and nice feather quality overall. So I'm going to place this naked neck first. And then I'm going to put this modern game. This little Kubalea hen. This guy. And this guy. So I'm picking this guy for first because this guy has pretty decent body structure, nice feather quality, and then the modern game for second. Overall, pretty nice looking bird. Decent coloring. And then this Kubalea pullet in third. Wish the tail was a little bit down farther. I wish the wings were maybe brought up more, but that could be just because this bird's panting a little. This Kubalea rooster, he is really nice looking guy. He just has this white feather here. And then this naked neck, decent body structure, just has copper leakage as well. Are there any questions before we take a break here? Okay, it looks like we are taking a 20-minute break then, and hopefully Bree can be back. I'm not able to put a little timer up on the screen, so I'll just turn my mic and camera off and come back in 20 minutes.
Okay. I am back. I got cleared from scene, so they have enough people there to cover the call. So, well, Izzy.
Here, are we going to continue then?
Yep.
So
we're good.
Okay.
Sorry, I needed to, respond to that, but we have officers on, so they're good without me. Let's go back to Phoenix. Clear up a few issues. So the two things that we had an issue with someone that submitted a bird that wasn't included. After reviewing their form and the birds that they submitted, they accidentally duplicated a photo, so we were able to get that cleared up. The other issue we had with Phoenix is with this bird right here. This male Phoenix was actually not, it's a duplicate image. So I will share the original image. And I want to give an extra thanks and a shout out to the person that messaged me and caught this before that the birds were placed, just so that we can clear up the issue. This is the original photo. So let's do it this way. That the person sent in, and it was actually taken directly from another breeder's Facebook page. So this is the screenshot of the Facebook post of this rooster for sale. And then this is the photo that was entered. So if you see, I have them side by side right up on the monitors. It is the exact same photo with the exact same background and the exact same bird. And the breeder that posted this does not have kids. He is older and it looks to be in no way related to the person that entered this bird. So this bird is officially disqualified. It will not be entered in the show. It is not allowed to place. I'm deleting it off the slide. And again, no fault to Izzy or anyone. I will also be talking with the exhibitor in question. And they entered quite a few other birds. All of the birds will be called into question just to make sure that none of them were taken from other breeders. I want to put out a disclaimer. That is not something we tolerate. It's a pretty serious deal to steal other people's images, and it could have been an honest mistake. It could be that they bought the bird from the breeder. And if they did purchase the bird from the breeder, then it is completely okay for them to enter. But it is not okay to use that breeder's photo. They would have to use their own photo of that bird. So I'll be reaching out with the breeder to confirm that image is no longer in there. For now, we're going to assume that their other images are okay and all of their other entries are fine. And I will go through and touch base with them just to clear up what might have happened, and will not be releasing names at all. So just wanted to clarify that. Had someone bring it to my attention, and yeah, we want to take it seriously and make sure that we're addressing all of that. So go ahead and finish up with Phoenix.
All right. So I think this little hen here is going to be my first. I really like how she holds her tail. It's really nice, and her coloring is really nice. And overall, I think she just has a great body type to her. Next, I think I'm going to put this one as my second. I like the tail angle of this bird. It's nice and open, the tail, and really decent coloring on this bird. Nice head. I think I'm going to put this guy as my third. Really nice tail. I like that he has the white at the tips of his wings. He has all the coloring. Overall, really love how that bird looks. It's hard because there's a couple other good birds in here too. All right. I think I'm gonna do this little pullet, and then no, hold on. And I think I'm gonna do this guy here. All right. So I picked this pullet because I like her back goes right up into her tail. Could be held a little lower, but it might just be the way she's walking. She's a nice small comb, and she has beautiful coloring on her. And then this rooster, he has a large comb, but overall he has pretty decent coloring. Wish he had white in the tips of his wings, but he has the darker coloring and then the green, and he has a really pretty tail that kind of slopes right off of his back there. All right. You good to move on?
Yep, we are good to move to best of class, all other standard breeds.
Okay.
And I do want to clarify the Phoenix situation. Talking to the person, they got back to me right away. They purchased the bird and they did own the bird for the duration of the show. It is still going to be a disqualification. You are going, just to clarify for all of our exhibitors, it is completely okay to buy a bird from someone and enter it in the show if you owned the bird for the duration of the show and the duration that the entries were open. We don't want the reason being we don't want one exhibitor to enter the picture of the bird, sell it, and someone else to buy it and also enter the same picture. But it is not okay to use someone else's photo of that bird. So I think it was just a misunderstanding. Talking to the breeder, they definitely own the bird, so it is not. They didn't enter another breeder's photo of a bird that they didn't own, but they did take the photo from the breeder's website. So just clearing it up. Nothing against the exhibitor. Mistakes happen. But we won't have it in the Phoenix show just because it wasn't taken by the exhibitor. So yeah, no hard feelings. Wanted to clarify that. I know we had a couple people. The one person that messaged just wanted to be sure about that. And yeah, I'm sorry, the all other standard breeds has been pretty chaotic, but we're getting there.
Yeah. All right. So first I'm going to put this little Phoenix hen first. She just has great type, in my opinion, and she has great coloring. I love how she holds her body. Next, we're going to put this Americana hen. Really, really pretty bird. Nice width to her body. And then we're going to put this Phoenix pullet. Also, pretty good looking bird with body structure. Pretty nice coloring as well. Love her face. I'm going to put this little modern game. Wish her tail was a little bit better. And then this naked neck. Decent type. Maybe the tail could come out and curve a little bit better, but overall pretty decent bird. All right.
And on to champion row. So congratulations to everyone who made it to this point. You should be really proud if your bird is on here. There were some pretty tough competition. I have the top two from each class. I can pull the third or fourth. If you would like, just let me know. Yeah.
Okay. Right, this might take me a while. Just gotta make sure I know what birds I like. I'm not placing any right now. I'm just moving some around. Okay, I think I'm gonna put our champion as this little phoenix. Her type just really stands out to me, and coloring is like really nice. Love the head. Just everything about this bird stands out to me as great breeding. Okay, our reserve. I think our reserve's going to be this little buff Orpington. She just has an amazing head to her. I love how her neck and head is put together. Great curve through the body. Wings held very nicely. Tail held very nice. Overall, great looking bird. Our second runner up is going to be this guy. Great feather quality. Love how his tail is put together, nice long back into his tail sloping over. And then our honorable mentions are going to be this light brown leghorn and this cochin. They are very close to the top.
Let me double check that Continental is on there. We may have to add a few more in there.
With the class missed?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yep, we need the Continental and the Polish in there.
Okay.
So we can go ahead and replace with those two.
All right, sorry guys.
Yeah, that one is on me right now. I'm trying to. Thank you, Laura, for pointing that out. I'm trying to juggle messaging people, responding to things, getting all of the names ready to go. So, yep, that's a mistake on my part that I missed it. So I apologize. We can replace Champion Row.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this Phoenix as champion. Still gonna do Buff Orpington, and then we're gonna put this guy up here. And these guys will be the honorable mentions over here. So congrats everyone, there's some awesome looking birds here.
Okay, give me a second just to finish getting all of the names down for everyone, and then we will do the exhibitors, the recognition for all of the exhibitors. I'll go through the slides and just list the names of everyone who had made it. Again, I want to thank everyone for their understanding. I know this show didn't go quite as smoothly. We had some hiccups, different things happening, and I had a call that I had to go to that kind of threw a whole loop into things. So thank you again for your patience. Give me a couple minutes just to get all of the names down, and then we'll go through. I'll leave up just champion row for you guys. If anyone has questions, now is a good chance to go ahead and comment for Izzy to answer. Almost done with it.
I placed the Cochin under honorable mentions just because it was really close. I really like this Brahma. He's really nice. I mean, he could easily go under honorable mentions as well. But I just thought that this Cochin stood out really well.
The Cochin should be you can't place something lower than one above it. So the Brahma would have to be honorable mentions if the Cochin is, because the Brahma placed above it.
Is there a limit to how many honorable mentions?
Nope.
All right, so we'll just add him in there. I mean, they could easily all be honorable mentions. They're all great birds. The point in her chest on the Polish, I was thinking that was just the crop after that she was eating. I could be wrong.
Okay, I've got names for everyone. We will start from the very beginning, and I will go through and list off all of the exhibitors. So for Best of Breed Rhode Island Red, we have Hannah Albert, and I apologize well in advance if I mispronounce any of these names. I'm awful with names. If you listen to the last two shows, I said the same thing, and I'm sure I butchered some. So I apologize if I pronounce your name or if there's any mistakes. I was trying to keep on top of things. So if you notice any inconsistencies, please message me and let me know. I'm happy to fix it. Best of Breed Plymouth Rock was Grace Trafford. Our best silver-laced Wyandotte was Grant Melodic. Best any other Wyandotte was Miriam Wynand. Best Wyandotte was Grant Melodic. Best any other American was Cody Gilbertson with his New Hampshire. Reserve American and Champion American both went to the same person, Grant Melodic, with his silver-laced Wyandottes. On to Asiatic. The best Cochin went to Jocelyn Hefty. Our best variety of light Brahma went to Evelyn Martindale. Our best dark Brahma went to Tiffany Cusick. She also entered in Youth Bantam. And I had the same thing with the name. The best any other variety Brahma was Lucas Farrell. Best Brahma overall was Tiffany Cusick. And Champion Asiatic, Best of Breed Langshan went to Nicholas Peters. Reserve Asiatic went to Tiffany Cusick. And Champion Asiatic overall went to, I messed those two up. Champion Asiatic went to Tiffany Cusick with the Brahma. Reserve Asiatic went to Jocelyn Hefty with the Cochin. Moving to Continental, our best Morans was Liam Costa. Our best Polish went to Lily Brezik. Our best of breed, any other breed, went to Riley Holloway with his Crevecoeur. Our reserve Continental went to Lily Brezik with her Polish, and the Champion Continental went to Riley Holloway with his Crevecoeur. Moving on to English, for Best Buff Orpington, we have Nicholas Peters. For Best Any Other Variety Orpington, we have Wilder Tice. For Best Overall Orpington, we have Nicholas Peters. For Best Any Other English, we have Danny Thibodeau. For Reserve English Overall, we have Avery Thibodeau with the Reserve Orpington. For Champion English, we have Nicholas Peters with the Buff Orpington. On to Mediterranean. For our best Leghorn, we have Ali Blickenderfer. For Best Any Other Breed, we have Danny Thibodeau with the Minorcas. For Reserve Mediterranean, we have Danny Thibodeau. And for Champion Mediterranean, we have Ali Blickenderfer with the, I swapped those two again. I'm sorry. For Reserve Mediterranean, we have Ali Blickenderfer. For Champion, we have Danny Thibodeau with her Minorca. And then going to, that checks out. On to all other standard breeds. For Phoenix, we have Lily Brezik with her hen. For Best Americana, we have Paisley Jackson with the Americana hen. For Best all other standard breeds, we have Paisley Jackson with the Turkin. For Reserve all other standard breeds, we have Paisley Jackson with her Americana. And for Champion all other standard breeds, we have Lily Brezik with her Phoenix. And then on Champion Row, overall, our honorable mentions, Jocelyn Hefty was Cochin, Danny Thibodeau was Minorca, Ali Blickenderfer with her light Leghorn, Lily Brezik with her Polish, and Tiffany Cusick with her Brahma. Those are in no particular order. Our second runner-up was, let me grab the name, the Crevecoeur in... let me pull that up. Riley Holloway. And then reserve overall youth largefowl is Nicholas Peters. Champion overall youth largefowl is Lily Brezak with her Phoenix. So congratulations to everyone. Thank you again to Izzy for judging. Is there any last notes you want to make or things you want to say?
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yeah. I want to, again, before we end it, just give out a huge thank you to our sponsors, to everyone who has helped with the show, whether it be commenting, sharing the videos, liking things. All of that is super helpful. We wouldn't have been able to put on such a big show without all of you guys and your support. So congratulations to everyone, and hope to see you guys this Wednesday with Open Largefowl.